Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is My Murder Beat, where we talk about true crime while doing our makeup.
And today's case is brought to you by one of our friends, Malia. She suggested that we talk about the case of Robert Wone and the mysterious death behind his murder, and also about his roommates and if they were involved or not. So if you want to know how we got this look and learn about this case, then keep on watching. I don't know why I wanted to pull it. Okay.
Keep on watching.
Keep on watching.
I love that. 4-week break.
4-week break. That's okay. We're here.
We're back.
Hi.
Hey.
So how are you?
Shit, did I break it?
Got these packs of Amazon sponges. There. Oh my gosh, you don't even know. Go get it, Amazon.
Amazon. So Robert Wone.
Wone.
Robert Wone. This case started back in 2006, and it was in Washington, D.C., and he was staying at a friend's house.
And he was like a big-time lawyer.
In like Northwest Washington, D.C. I think the area is called like Northwest.
Oh, it just gets right into it. Okay. Yeah, so he was like a big-time lawyer.
Yeah, and he didn't want to drive because they lived in...
So he was living in the suburban
Fairfax,
Oakton, Virginia, and had been working as a general counsel at a Radio Free Asia in downtown Washington, D.C. So I think that's why he stayed in Washington, D.C., because he lived in Virginia.
Oh, yeah, he commutes into D.C. with his wife from Oakton in suburban Virginia. Okay, yeah. So he, so one day, this was back in 2006, let's see, July 29th, he was done with work, but he had a meeting early, right? He had a meeting early the next day.
Yes.
So he was in DC, and he had a meeting early the next day, but has friends in DC, so decided just to stay the night there.
And it was, the friends were...
Oh yeah, there's 4, right?
There's 3 of them. So he was staying with his friend, Joe Prince. And then in Joe Prince, he had a partner. His name was Victor Zaborski. And then they had a roommate whose name was Dylan Ward, who also comes out later that they were in like a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah, with Price,
Dylan,
Zaborski, and Ward.
Yeah, so Zaborski and Price were like, I think, the original couple, and then Ward came in.
Mm-hmm. And so he decides, he like messaged them like, hey, I have a meeting, whatever, the next morning, and I don't want to obviously go all the way back, and I just stay at your place. And they've been friends for, like, I think, since, like, college, right? Or, like,
I think college friends, yeah.
College friends are, like, knew each other forever. So, obviously, they were cool with it. They're, like, you know, pretty good friends. So.
And they had a guest room.
Let me get the times before. So, at 9:30, Robert calls his wife and lets him know that he just left his CLE class. I don't know, some work situation, and is on his way. This is what happened. He had a late work meeting, and so that's why he wanted to stay there, so he could just go to work the next day. In his meeting, he had to go back at 9:40, so he arrives back at work at 9:40, and then he at 10:24, he calls Price and says he'll be leaving soon.
And this was at night.
10:32 would be the earliest possible time that Robert could arrive at their place, just according to, like, all the evidence and everything. And then, according to Price and Ward, 11 o'clock p.m. was when everyone started to, like, go to their rooms, kind of start going to sleep and everything, because before that they were, like, kind of all hanging out and talking. Sometime between 11 and 11:35, their neighbor, William Thomas, hears a desperation scream. But some people are saying that he might have mistook it from, like, a something, I don't know. Some people say that, like, that might not be, like, what he heard. But then, right after that, around, like, 11:45, Price and Zaborski claimed they were awakened by their door alarm, like the chime on their door. Mm-hmm. And they said they think it's between that time, but they said they're unsure of, like, if that was the actual time, if they heard it, because they had just woken up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they have a basement tenant, so they just assumed, they didn't think anything of it because they just assumed that she would be coming home, but they were kind of confused because she said, like, the night before that she wasn't coming home. So they were just like, oh, she probably decided to not. She said she was staying somewhere else, but they just thought, oh, she probably decided to come back. So then at 11:49, Zaborski, or 911 receives, 911, you know, okay.
Zaborski called 911.
So, 11:49 p.m. Zaborski and Price. No, Zaborski calls 911, not Price. But Price is there, but he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't call. They're all. No. Yeah, they're all there.
They're all there.
And he calls 911 and he says, distraught and crying, and he says that they think an intruder, broke into the house and stabbed our friend, and that there's blood everywhere. That's important to note. And that we need an ambulance. And so she's like, okay, did you see, like, is the guy there? Like, what does he look like? Did you see him? Blah, blah, blah. And Zaborski's just like, no, we haven't seen him, but we think he's still in the house. And and so she's like, okay. She was just trying to calm him down, and he was just like,
man, I have like no notes.
Telling him that there were stab wounds, and she was like, okay, get a towel, add some pressure to the stab wounds, and we're sending an ambulance. So he says, okay, I'll do that, and he says that he's scared to go downstairs because he doesn't know if there's someone there, blah, blah, blah. And then he tells the operator that he's scared to go downstairs, but when he does so, he sees the lights of the ambulance. So that was, like, really fast. It was a matter of, like, minutes. Mm-hmm. And so
they were there
the dispatcher tells him just to unlock the door because they're there.
Yeah. So then when the police arrived, they were met by 3 residents of the house who appeared to have been freshly showered and all wearing white robes.
When I read that, they're all showered, I'm like, bitches did it. Bitches did it.
Did you shower after you called 911, or did you shower before?
Did you wash all the evidence off?
Huh? Weird. So the paramedics arrived. One of them, Jeff Baker, is a paramedic, looked at the body and found what he saw was odd. He said it looked like his abdomen had been wiped, kind of like when you wash a window, he said.
And did he said right when he walked in, like, he got a weird feeling from all of them?
He said, like, it was nothing, felt very wrong.
It wasn't like there was an intruder. It just, like, he felt like they had something to do with it.
Yeah. And the weird part was the paramedic said that there had been a hole in his abdomen, and there was no blood, which is weird because they claimed that there was blood everywhere. Yeah. So there had been no blood, and the hole in his abdomen was big enough that you could fit your finger into.
Yeah. Like, and there was a towel, right? Like, there was a towel, but and there was a knife. But the knife, this is what's interesting, is the blood on the knife. Remember that?
There was no blood on the knife, right? It was switched out?
There was a knife. There was blood on the knife, but the knife, the blood on the knife looked like somebody put the blood there, and not that it was stabbed.
That's right. It didn't look like it was the actual
It didn't look like it was what it was used for. It looks like it was like a prop, or
like they placed it there. That's right. And then they also said it looked like he had been washed and laid out on the bed. Yeah. They said he was laid out, like, straight, like his arms to his side, and that a corner of the bed that he was laying on was, like, folded nicely down. Like, he never actually looked like he got into bed. Like, it was perfectly made. He was laying perfectly on top of it still. His arms or legs weren't flying everywhere. And then he just has this, like, gashing hole in him. So, like, none of that makes
There was only
sense.
one hole?
Well, the big hole in his abdomen.
Oh, yeah, the bigger one.
Yeah. Okay, so they find Robert Wone, and he was dead on the scene. They took him away to the hospital. I believe they called his wife right then.
Oh, yeah, okay. This killed me. So they claim it was an intruder. None of this stuff was stolen.
Yeah.
It says his personal items are undisturbed on a table.
And why was only he
2
attacked?
wallets filled with cash. Yeah. Why would they go just to his room?
Just to his room. And I think from another article I read, they had to, like, walk past everyone else's room to get to his.
Really?
Or something. And there might have been,
didn't read
like,
that.
a window at the top or something by his room. But, like, it wasn't open. Like, there was no intrusion at all. Like, there was nothing.
If it's an intrusion, why go straight and, like, kill someone? Like, you're gonna go...
Why is there no blood everywhere?
You're gonna go and look around the house. You're gonna take the TV and look for stuff like...
How? There's no blood. He had a hole that you could fit your finger through in his body, and there was no blood.
Yeah.
How?
We'll get to that.
Okay, so next this goes to court. I think the wife is the one who, like, started it and stuff, obviously, but...
Because she's like, she just knew.
Yeah, she knew something was up. She knows her husband. She knew he wasn't doing anything. So police actually started saying that this was some kind of weird, like, sadist kind of, like, thing with all the guys. Like, they thought Robert Wone was, like, involved in...
I didn't read that.
Yeah, there's an article where it talks about the police were trying to pin it on, like, since the two were in a partnership, or I guess they all three were, and then Robert was in on it, and they just said it went too far.
Wait, Robert was in on it? Oh,
No, that's what the police are saying.
Oh, they thought, like, maybe, like, from their past or something.
Yeah, and then his wife is just like, no, like, he's not bisexual, this isn't him.
Like, I know him, like...
Yeah, like, he was really dedicated to his work and his life, and, you know, he just want to, like...
Yeah.
Be into stuff, I guess. That's what she says.
But she also still, like... She tried to charge them, right? Like, she wanted to take them to trial.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
she
knew
ready.
it wasn't, like, it just didn't add up.
Yeah. So, prosecutors told the court that the 3 men held off calling the police while they cleaned up and tampered with the scene of the crime. They are alleged to have mopped up the large pools of blood that poured from Wone, disposed of the knife used to kill him, and replaced it with another to mislead detectives, and rearranged the crime scene.
Yeah.
Why would you get rid of the knife?
Yeah.
Why?
And it's like...
And the thing is, they can do tests, they can compare knives to see if this is the one that stabbed the body. Like, they can tell that.
Oh, yeah, so the autopsy concludes that 3 stab wounds penetrated the right lung, heart, and abdomen, respectively, and caused his death. Each wound was 4 to 5 inches deep. Oh, I remember reading this. Wasn't there something with the knife, like the wounds were 4 to 5 inches deep, but the knife, like the blood that was on the knife, was too high up? So that shows, like, okay, so say, like, this is a knife. And... So it says, like, oh, the wounds were only this long. The blood was up here. So it's like
so they definitely
put
switched the knife and put the blood there.
Yeah.
And then again, where's the blood?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, defense lawyers were saying that the police theory, based on prejudice about the people's lifestyles, that the 3 accused have stuck solidly to a single version of events. And I guess all 3 of their events
stories added up
together.
Which was insane to me. Like, they were on their shit.
Yeah.
If they did it, they, like...
Yeah. So their version of events was that someone broke into the house and killed Wone for no apparent reason. There were certainly weaknesses in the prosecution case. For start, a lot would have happened in less than 90-minute window between Wone arrival and the 911 call, including a bloody murder and complete cleanup of the scene.
It's so crazy because also, like, if he got there that late, what did they do and how did they...
Well, between then and the 911 call?
Yeah, and how did
crazy.
They do it so fast, like everything. That's
because you said there was drafts of the email of when he was going to bed at like 10:35.
No,
so
10:05.
Yeah, so 90 minutes.
11:05, sorry.
Yeah, so it's like, it had to happen so fast. So
then...
it
happened in like 45 minutes. I don't understand.
The defendant's version of events would mean that a total stranger had climbed a 7-foot wall, a flight of stairs, bypassed one bedroom to enter Juan's room, killed him, and then left without taking any of the electronics, cash, wallets, or other valuables lying around the house.
Like, let's just kill someone and go through all that trouble and not take any money.
What? Like,
not take his wallets.
How are you gonna say this is... Like, we're innocent.
It's so crazy.
And then also, like, there wasn't anything disturbed or anything.
Like, I know they did it. Like, I'm like, well, I don't know. We don't know for sure, but I'm like 99.9% sure they did it.
Like 100% sure.
But the only way I'm like 0.1 not is because how did they do it that fast? How did they all get their story straight in that amount of time and like keep their cool and just like and shower and like everything?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some flaws. I'm not gonna lie. It's not all cut and dry.
Like, obviously more adds up to them doing it, but I don't know.
But I still think a lot of people are still saying that, like, their 3-person relationship is, like, the bedrock for the conspiracy, and that the defendants, you know, really had to work hard and fast to clean this up.
Yeah.
Which, how do you do that?
Yeah.
My question is, if they cleaned up the blood, did they not go in with, like, because you can do tests if there's used bleach. Clean up. I wonder. I can't find anything about that. Yeah. So they can't prove the true circumstances of what happened August 2nd, 2006. They really don't know.
So 2008, right?
Yes. An obstruction of justice charge was filed in October 2008 against housemate Dylan Warren, who had since moved to Miami County, Florida, and was living in a home owned by Price, which was Juan's college friend. In November 2008, Price and Zaborski were arrested and also charged with obstruction of justice. All 3 men were later released pending trial, but subject to electronic monitoring and curfews. And then December 19th, 2008, additional charges of conspiracy were filed against all 3. And during the same hearing, the electronic monitoring and curfew restrictions for the 3 defendants were ended, and prosecutors announced the possibility that charges related to tampering with evidence could be filed in the future. So officials believe that a knife of the kitchen had been smeared with blood and placed near the body, while a duplicate of the knife was missing from the set, obviously.
Didn't they come to the conclusion that they drugged him too?
I think so, yeah.
Or that's...
And there was some degree of suffocation, perhaps by a pillow, and puncture marks on his neck, chest, foot, and hand. Though no toxins were found in his blood, a lack of evidence of struggle led the investigators to suspect Juan had been injected with
paralytic.
Yep.
That was in July 2009, or July 29th, 2010. A judge finds all 3 men not guilty of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and tampering. The judge states that she believes the intruder explanation is plausible and that all 3 men know something about who killed Wone, but no single one of them can be found guilty because reasonable doubt based on evidence available. That's crazy.
Yeah, so after all that, they all get dismissed and no one's charged. So to this day, no one is actually charged for the death of Robert Wone. And it's still one of the biggest mysteries, actually, for the simple fact that the men weren't charged, that they don't know if it was an intruder or not.
Yeah. It's so crazy and stuff. Did you read about that?
Yeah.
So this theory that I saw on Reddit, I think it lines up perfectly, is that they didn't plan this, but kind of out of nowhere, like once Robert said that he was coming over, I don't know the first names, but Mike
Wazowski.
What's his name?
Zaborski
and Ward, since they are like pretty much the couple, right?
No, Prince and Zaborski.
Prince, not Ward, yeah. But Ward,
Price or something.
Ward had been like involved.
Yeah, he was.
Price and Zaborski.
Yeah, Price and Zaborski.
They had like all the BDSM stuff or whatever, and the theory is that they kind of were like, okay, Robert's coming over, let's drug him.
Let's do stuff.
And do stuff without him knowing.
So I kind of read that too, and a lot of people were saying that was like prejudice against them just because they weren't a couple, but like I don't know what else.
Yeah. Like, it got out of hand, like, they kind of...
I mean, I think it's either that or they just straight up murdered him.
It's like, what friend does that?
But who that seems like murders your friend as well?
Yeah, exactly. I think, well, what I think is, I don't think they just went in and stabbed him. Like, they're not just gonna go... Like, I think they drugged him and then, yeah, like, did stuff. And then he probably, like, it didn't go as planned, or he probably, like, died from it or something, or, like, woke up or I don't know. Either he died or, like, woke up during it and then, like... Well,
what's with the gashing mark in his chest, though?
The stab wounds?
Yeah. How do you?
No, I think they tried to cover it up with.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They tried to cover it up with that. They made up the whole thing and covered it up with it. And
I can see that.
I thought that was the best theory because I don't believe that it's an intruder.
I think it was them.
I don't.
I don't think that. I just don't think they're right. They'd have to make it past. I think it was 7.
Oh,
like feet.
There were needle marks, too. They found needle marks all over his, like, feet and stuff. Or, like, all over his... I don't remember if it was...
I think it was the back of his neck.
Wasn't it on his, like, legs? I don't know. Either way, they for sure found needle marks. So that was, like, why it was, like, a huge thing to be... Okay, they drugged him and were doing stuff to him. Yeah. Crazy. I don't know. Do you know another one? Like, I don't.
No, that's all I know. I just know it's like one of the biggest,
and they all had
mysteries
to be
out there
on the same page. Like either it was just Price and Zaborski, and then like Ward walked in or like found out that they were doing it, and they all had to like their story had to be on the same page, or else they would get caught.
I don't know. It's weird.
It's so weird.
I think it's them though. I definitely think it's them. I think they either did something or covered it up, or they planned on killing him. I just don't think there's any way it's an intruder with no blood.
I see something scary happen. I don't see them just killing him to kill him. Like, I think something freaky happened, and then they tried to cover it up. Like, something involved with, like, drugging him happened.
But I feel like, I don't know.
Do you not think so? Like, cause I don't see them just being like, oh, we're gonna kill him tonight. I think they were just, like, maybe...
But, okay, so if they plan on drugging him, though, you still don't have very good intentions.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were planning on killing him. I think it got out of hand, and somehow either he died from too much drugs, or he woke up and then, like, maybe one of them that's not as close to him just decided to kill him because he was like, we can't, like, we're gonna get in trouble for this because we were, like, sexually assaulting him or something. Like, don't you think?
I don't know. It's a weird one.
What do you think?
I don't think that happened. I think...
Do you think they just kill him to kill him?
I just don't see how something goes that wrong. So I don't see something going that wrong.
They're probably going to drug him and then he'd wake up and not remember.
Yeah, but how does something go that wrong? How do you cover it up that fast? How do you clean up that fast?
Yeah.
How do you get all your stories straight that fast?
I don't know.
If you didn't mean to kill him.
I don't know.
That was a very short window to get all 3 of those things right from an accidental murder.
I don't know.
So that's my thought, is like, I just don't get how you get your story right. You clean it up. You make it look like a certain way from an accident happening. I imagine you'd freak out. It's one of your closest friends. Yeah. Like, what do you do? You know? So, if you like this look... Hey,
so if you like this, then come back next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. And we love to talk about our murder cases.
Keep that.
I am. We're cheersing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes! I didn't think you would!
Bye!
You don't need to be professional. I love it.
What do you think this is?
This ain't no CNN.
We don't get paid to do this shit.
Hi, welcome to my murder beat. Look, you do the little mouse ears over here.
Oh my gosh, I have a highlighter on my cheeks. What's wrong with me? Oh no.
Welcome to Disney Channel. I'm Hannah Montana. Welcome back to Disney Channel.
Hey.
Shit.
Just go with concealer.